following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots. Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Only Thursday.
I know. it's not Thursday.
Friday. It's Fabulous Football Friday.
It says only Thursday.
Fabulous Football Fight Sound Friday.
Spurs have a tough week.
Football.
He
even started off the show. Even when Stampede plays,
he knows
Mickey's still in a mood. He's been in a mood ever since Sunday night.
I love it. Yeah. I hope the team has that same mood. I love it, Spags. You keep it going, buddy.
Mickey needs to give the pregame speech.
Oh, man.
I would love
tough.
that.
How inspiring would that be?
Good idea.
Night?
What would you say? What would you say?
Oh my! I can't say it on the mic.
He would call out individuals. Yeah, that's what you do. You call out individuals. Yeah, don't be all
who
overviewed.
Oh, no. that was the baseball pregame champagne party.
Mm-hmm.
Verlander.
Oh, it's postgame.
Oh, postgame.
Yeah.
I meant pre-champagne party.
Oh yeah, postgame pre-champagne celebration.
About 5 F-bombs in there.
Yep.
That would have been me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
want to hear what it's going to sound like?
Yeah.
Here's what it sounds like right here.
Ready, Mick?
That's good. That is good.
And you'd have to play Mick's the
rant.
Yeah, the rant.
Yeah.
Right.
Before,
that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little windy out there, if you guys didn't notice. I was going to come in and say I'd pay anybody $100 if they can catch one of Anger's punts.
They're floating all over the place, huh?
It's
like
that
a knuckleball.
Oh,
huh?
you know how easily Deuce and Turpin catch punts? Boy, there was a lot of extra steps in there going. But I was thinking if I was trying to catch those, and so it's not only blowing like in their face, but it's blowing sideways too. And it's blowing sideways so hard, I don't think I'd be fast enough to get to where the ball was going to land.
Does it feel like maybe a left-footed kicker?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
But, it was so windy yesterday, they went inside when they started team practice, and I bet they do it again today. You can't throw the football in that stuff, and it won't be like that in SoFi, right?
Right.
Even in,
It's open air, but
yeah, it's kind of
no
open air,
breeze
but
is
it's
coming
closed.
through. Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
Although the rain will come through, because that
Yeah.
last time we were there and it rained, it was blowing through the sides. It was raining so hard.
Well, it's a projected 85 degrees in Los Angeles.
No rain.
So dress-
No rain
Monday
in sight,
night.
right?
No rain in sight.
Dress properly, right?
Now, Savannah, you are from San Diego, right?
I am.
Okay, so the Santa Ana winds, what were they like?
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was
Yeah.
hot wind.
Was it as
That's
windy
pretty
as
much.
a good old Texas springtime wind, or in this case, an October 13th wind?
We were more worried about the wildfires. We saw that
of
a
course.
little bit
Right.
more.
Yeah,
sure.
We saw a lot of those.
And I did mention October 13th. And
Yes.
You know what that means, Mickey?
Yes, I do know
Will you
what that
explain to
means.
us what that means?
Jerry Jones's birthday.
Oh wow! Is
Happy
it?
birthday, Jerry.
on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, he's born on Friday the 13th.
Go look up, see
might
where,
have
There's so much I could say
where,
about that.
where October
You can look it up
13th was.
somewhere. Okay, your
in
producer Supreme is on
1940
that. What day of the
42,
week? What
right.
day of the week?
We're gonna just say Friday. Let's just stick to Friday. Who
40
cares?
42.
Yeah, he's 80, 81.
Okay.
Yeah.
So producer Supreme is on that. October
Let's
13th.
just. It sounds better. Friday the 13th. Let's just keep it at that.
He said on his radio segment that there might be some libations taking place today. Or
It was on
tonight.
a Tuesday.
All right. There
Oh,
you
way
go,
to go.
Savannah. Tuesday the 13th.
You just ruined it, Savannah.
I'm sorry.
That's not nearly as
Sorry,
sexy
Chris.
as Friday the 13th. You know?
Yeah.
Will there be libations, though, after the game on Monday night?
That's a good question.
That's
Do we have to answer that today, or there's no Monday?
That's
We don't-
right. That's why we played the fight song today.
Well,
It's our
I mean,
last show before the game.
Whether you win or not, I'm pretty sure libations are going to be needed. I mean, because if you lose,
One way or the
you're
other,
going to
right?
need some. If
Drown
you
your
lose.
sorrows.
So
There
how
you
big
go.
is this game?
I
think it's huge.
I think
Is
it's
it
really
bigger?
big.
Is it bigger than the San Francisco game?
after you lost. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you
They
go,
just made it
Spags.
bigger than the San Francisco
Because
game.
the San Francisco game, when we had to do a bunch of questions, and one of the questions before the season started was, what's the biggest game or the game you're circling? And I said San Francisco. I know it's only the 5th game, but you kind of find out where you're at with a team that's eliminated you twice. Now this one's bigger.
It is.
They made it
Simply
bigger.
because you lost.
Yeah.
And the way you lost.
And the way you
That's right.
lost.
And now you're going up against the former offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and the Los Angeles Chargers.
And that makes it even a little bit more bigger. I mean, they asked Jerry on his radio segment if he's gotten over it and the loss, and he goes, "No, I haven't." He said it's been that kind of week. It was such a surprise and so unexpected.
To throw another thing in there, okay?
He sounds like he was disappointed.
Yeah.
That sounds like disappointment
Sorely.
in his team.
Sorely.
In his team.
Yeah.
Another thing to throw in there, you had the lopsided loss in San Francisco, and then you're going up against your former offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and the Chargers, and then you got a bye after that.
Right.
And so you better win.
It's a big, much needed.
It was a
win.
long wait just for this game. So you can
We've
imagine
had
what
to
it'd be
listen to
like
Mickey.
if you
Can
lose
you imagine
and then have to go
Mickey the
to a
next 2
bye.
weeks? Is,
Stewart.
I'm glad we mix it up. Oh my God, I don't want to have to be.
You
in
had
the
a
room
hard
with
time imagining it this way.
Also, I'm nervous for Austin Eckler. He's coming back, and I think he's going to do really well for the Chargers on Monday night. So
Well, he's on-
our defense is up for a test with him.
Yeah.
He's played in one game, broke off about a 50-yard run in that game against the Dolphins,
did.
which
Totaled
helped him get up to
117.
117.
And they rushed for 234.
See, that's the other thing, though. You look at the Chargers, and yes, they've got the 32nd ranked pass defense in the league. They did play the Dolphins the first game of the year.
Right.
It was a shootout, 36-34. They lost by 2 points to them.
And then the second loss was overtime, right? 27-24, I believe it was.
It was-
Wait, I got it right here.
27-24 to Tennessee,
27-24 to Tennessee.
on the road.
Yeah.
The Chargers always seem to be in forever comeback mode. You ever notice that?
Very
always
true.
They're always scrambling in the last 2 minutes. Herbert is trying to rally the guys, and here we go. And I think that's the disappointment in that team. But I don't want them to be too familiar in whatever they do against us. I don't want them to be familiar in that comeback mode. I want us to be able to put this out of sight to where we don't have to worry about a 2-minute drill from this high-powered offense.
Well, if you look at Herbert's numbers, he's completing 71% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has been sacked 9 times, and a quarterback rating of 106.3. So, got to worry
That
about
was the
him
radio
too.
station I worked for in college.
106.3.
Can we stay on track, please? Can we please stay on track? God, Chris is always mad over there. Come on.
So that's a problem. By the way. And
That was like with the Rangers. It was always bad if the pitcher's ERA was the same as the flagship radio station KRLD 1080. Occasionally that would happen back in the day with the Rangers.
or the score in the football would end up 13-10.
And the ticket, yeah.
There you go.
All right, so what concerns you the most going into this game, where this team is right now, the offense or the defense?
So this is going to be a nice transition into the injury report. It concerns me that there's no Leighton Vander Esch and no C.J. Goodwin, and how they compensate for that. So that's what concerns me. He's your leading tackler. So the second leading tackler, Damone Clark, has to basically, we talked about it yesterday, take more snaps. And talking to him in the locker room, he, feels very comfortable and ready to do that. And he said, I just do whatever they ask me. And somebody says, but are you going to call plays? And so when they all walked off, I said, so are you pretty good at listening and just repeating what you heard? And he laughed. He goes, yeah, why does everybody say that? He goes, I'm not calling the plays. I'm just repeating the plays, right? But he said he did it in preseason when Van Der Esch wasn't playing in the preseason game. So he had the communication device in his helmet. So he's done it.
Yeah.
He's used to doing it. But again, they're going to need guys to be able to step up on special teams, not only for the snaps that Damone Clark was taking, but for the snaps that C.J. Goodwin is taking. So, and I did see, so on the injury report, Wanye Thomas was listed with a hamstring.
We don't have time to go through the whole injury report.
No, I'm not going to give all
It's a long
20,
one.
15,
It's a long
well,
one.
Well,
a
there
bunch
were
of
rest
them were
days.
arrested.
Yeah.
But Wanye was one of the guys that did not practice with a hamstring, and he was out there on the cords today, but he did not have his pads on. So that means he wasn't going to practice. At least Cavante Turpin and Donovan Wilson were on the cords, and they had their pads on. So while Turpin was warming up, when they started punt, he was out there catching punts. So McCarthy said he would practice today. And I saw him running through the locker room yesterday. He looked okay to me.
Yeah.
If you got an ankle
That's
that,
all you take is run through the locker room.
He was jumping.
He's got that keen eye, doesn't he?
And
He's got that keen eye.
and he had to jump over
he can
some.
See him
he had to
go
jump
through the
over
locker
some
room,
stuff.
And he already knows he's ready to
and
go.
he did. He did it twice, and he was jumping over stuff. I said, "Okay, he's good."
Some people are just so bendable that you get a little sprained ankle and it's not really that.
Like CD,
it's not
like
the
CD,
same.
like those, he's one of those wire. They're wiry. That's called wiry guys. Yeah.
And some of the guys that were listed as limited were basically limited in how many reps they took. So I think, but the concern is, who's going to take C.J. Goodwin's place? And they're going to have to call guys up off the practice squad, right?
Sure. Malik Jefferson's got one more week, so that would be one of the moves.
And I think the only other linebacker on there, well, there's two now with Rashawn.
Yeah, with Rashawn Evans on there, too.
How do you say it? Is it Tyrus?
Tyrus Wheat. Now, he's more of an edge.
Yeah.
They may list him as a linebacker, but he's 6'3", 265 pounds.
Yeah, they listed him as a linebacker, though.
Yeah.
But for special teams, maybe the way
he moves well.
Right?
Yeah. I was just watching him out on the practice field just now.
Right.
And he caught my eye just the way he moves. Just doing drills.
Got another keen eye over here. Got two keen eyes over there. So that we're going to have to work on that.
Mississippi State guy, Tyrus.
Right. And does he have some local ties? He did in the state, maybe. I don't remember. Somehow, I remember his name came up that he knew somebody on the team or played with him in high school, maybe. Deuce Vaughn, maybe?
Okay. We'll do the research on that. He's from Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Maybe not then.
What do you think about the extra day?
Well, it's not an extra day because they lost Monday. And Tuesday was a day off, and he basically did on Wednesday what they normally would have done on Monday. So yesterday was really the first day of practice, and then the second day is today, and then Saturday will be Friday for them. So maybe it gives them more space in between the loss and having to play. And by the way, when they were practicing special teams, Evans was on the scout team. Mm-hmm. So, he's not playing until after the bye week. So it's not like they signed it. Now, he said, I can come right off the couch and play on Monday. I don't know that they're buying into that since he hasn't practiced till yesterday since last January, since he didn't do anything with Philadelphia. So that's kind of a future thing. So linebacker, I don't know if you guys are for it. I am. It's Micah Parsons.
Well, and that's the thing, like with, for instance, a Tyrus Wheat. If they were to elevate him from the practice squad, he is for special teams reasons and as depth as an edge rusher, because I think that is what would then be his first NFL game. He could give you a few snaps as an edge rusher against Justin Herbert. And by the way, looking at the Chargers offensive line up your best pass rusher on that right tackle, and maybe you'll get somewhere. Trey Pipkins.
Okay. And that you asked about what were the concerns. That's my concern. The trenches. Mm-hmm. How are we going to do defensively? Our front seven,
especially against the run.
Mm-hmm. Against the run, that's really all I'm thinking about.
See, I think
we're
Parsons
okay against the pass.
I think Parsons is more valuable against the run at linebacker than he is on the defensive end. And by the way, when they were doing their kind of little drills, they do position drills while special teams was going on. Parsons was not over there where the defensive ends were. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, he didn't get over there just to watch at the end. So I don't know if that means anything or not, because it's like all the other linebackers they have, they're doing special teams. There's nobody, Van Der Esch would be the one sitting out, but Clark's over there, Jefferson's over there. And then with Wanye Thomas not there, Bell was probably on special teams also. So, yeah. They're pretty thin at linebacker going into this game.
Yep, and we'll see where Rashaan Evans is eventually after the bye week and going on, and when the Cowboys come back from the bye and play the Rams and the Eagles. But he doesn't factor in obviously this week, and so it's like you have a specific game plan for the Chargers this week with what you have available.
He said something really funny in his interview. Somebody said something about I didn't sign, and I don't know. My agent, and somebody said, well, you should have fired him. He goes, I did.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's what he said. So he's got a new guy. And I asked him, I said, why the Cowboys? Because I said, I'm sure you had other opportunities. And he basically said, he goes, well, the history of the team and what they needed and, some of the people that I know play here. And he goes, my family were all Cowboy fans growing up. So
in Auburn, Alabama.
Great.
Mm-hmm. They were Cowboy fans. So anyway, he's raring to go. Now they just got to get him ready to go. And as I said, I was told it's a process. He's not ready to play. So.
All right, we're just getting started on a fabulous Football Friday edition of Mick Shots, and we're back in a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, we continue here on Mick
Well, there's
Shots.
the play right there.
What?
We were just talking about some of
There
the
it is.
coverages in there. It's on NFL Network right now.
We're talking about.
Kittle.
Okay, just pull back the curtain here. And last night I texted people on this show, and the 3 Kittle touchdowns, just with the coaches' film, the all 22, just to get their assessment on what happened on these 3 plays and who is at fault on these 3 plays. And it was the video was too tiny for Mickey to even see.
But it was foggy.
Yeah.
Grainy, foggy.
Grainy.
Yeah.
And they just showed the
So what's funny
use
about
check
that, we
one.
were just talking about it on NFL Network. They're talking 49ers, and they just showed the 3 Kittle touchdowns against the Cowboys. So
And basically bragging about the intellect of Shanahan and how good he is at creating mismessage and confusion.
all right, so let me ask you about those condensed formations that Shanahan and McVay from that school, they run all the time. And what that does, and a condensed formation is when you've got everyone in tight, basically. And
He
then
just called it a bunch.
And you're right. And so explain what causes problems for DBs when you're trying to play man out of that.
Well, it creates a lot of rubbing, a lot of that we call them rub routes. So the guy coming in motion, you have to be ready for that if you're coming over in man-to-man. They could get picked. You get picked off very easily. So what you do is you kind of change that to a little zone. You take deep. One goes inside and one stays outside. But if you have a man in the middle, everyone's positioning should be on the outside because you have post help. If there's no one in the middle, you're just going to have to play the man that comes into your area, which it seems like Donovan Wilson was trying to do.
So on the 3rd touchdown by Kittle, Donovan Wilson was
That was a
lined
flea
up
flicker.
on Kittle. No, I think the flea flicker was the second one.
Okay.
And so on the 3rd one, which is the shorter one, 13-yard touchdown, it was Kittle on a little post in the middle of the end zone. All right. At the outset of that play, Juszczyk lined up as a wing on the right side. Jaron Kearse went over to cover him. Okay, he lined up over him anyway. Malik Hooker was a safety in the middle of the field. Juszczyk went in motion. Malik went with him and motioned towards Kearse like he was trying to tell him something, but there was a snap of the ball.
You have to take my place in the middle.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So what happened was then Kittle went where Hooker was. His route was over the middle, and there was no safety help for Donovan Wilson there.
So Jaron should have been there.
That's what I'm thinking or wondering.
Yeah, but when you do something like that, you usually stay with the man that goes in motion.
You usually go with him.
He usually stays with him.
Right.
You don't switch like that.
Right.
If you stay in the middle, if it's man to man, you stay in the middle.
Because they were so close to the goal line, I think that they were concerned. Hooker was concerned they were going to throw to Juszczyk, and he had basically on that little flare out to the what would have been the left flank, whatever, and Hooker could get there faster than Kearse was. I think that's probably what Hooker was thinking.
Once again, you still should have one of those DBs.
So you got to be
in the middle of the field.
You have to be in concert with each other. If Hooker's going to do that, then Kearse has got to take his place in the middle,
and he's got to play.
Right.
You can't cover the outside guys if it's a wide formation. If it's a tight formation, everyone's still outside leverage because there's going to be a safety in the middle. Most likely, he will double the 2 receiver. He won't go and double the 1 receiver. He's too far outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So which touchdown was that?
That was
he said the 3rd.
I think it was the 3rd touchdown, the 13-yarder.
Okay. Because I was looking at the my scribbled notes here.
Now on the reverse flea flicker.
Flea flicker thing, I wrote down that Jordan Lewis got caught looking in the wrong spot.
Now Leighton Vander Esch was lined up over Kittle, who was blocking at first, and the wide receiver that Lewis was covering on that side was the man who went in who ran the reverse in the pitch back, and then Kittle just secretly leaked out, and Jordan Lewis, as Mickey said, was caught looking inside and beat him down the sideline.
If you're going to play safety and you're deep safety, you have no reason poking your head, poking your nose anywhere towards the line of scrimmage.
And he
You
was a
still
wheel
have to
route
stay.
by Kittle down the sideline.
You have to let it develop
Right.
as a safety.
Right.
As a free safety, you just let it develop because you're not going to stop a reverse. Mm-hmm. It's too far
Right,
field.
right.
Yeah.
And he was staying there. Lewis was staying home. He had whoever was coming out there.
Right.
One of the problems was, and to the 49ers' credit on it, they had another back that was running a shallow route in front of him, and so
well, you got less.
he had to make a
what's the lesser of the evils?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to go with
Or
the
the
guy
most
that's going
dangerous.
deep. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So,
and he called the kind of flea flicker or whatever you want to call the double reverse at a perfect time because it came right after the turnover, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get that sudden change and you're not settled and get out there and you get a gingerbread play.
And most experienced coaches and teams, they know that.
Right.
And say, you come out there talking, be ready for something tricky. It's, that's being heads up. A veteran in the more than one veteran in the huddle or a coach himself will say it in someone's ear. Hey, tell them to be ready for something tricky.
Because I'm always when you see one like that and you get the ball, I'm going, okay, throw to the end zone.
It happens all the time.
Catch them off guard.
Yeah,
because they're going to be unsettled.
That's right.
And by the way, coming out of the bye, the Cowboys are going to face a similar type offense that runs a lot of that bunch.
Mm-hmm. And a quarterback with a hell of an arm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when they do that, you don't know if those guys are blocking. They could be blocking where they're lined up, right? Yeah. So that kind of complicates the thing.
It does. But as a safety, you're designated to stay back.
Right.
You're our safety valve. That's the name of it. So
you got to let the other guy or assume the other guys are going to do their job.
You got to let them do their
right?
job.
So sometimes the knee-jerk reaction from fans or media or whatever is, they outplayed them because they were playing harder or whatever. Sometimes
they were smarter.
They play smarter.
Sometimes they just get you, right?
Yes.
Well, that's what Jerry was saying.
Yeah.
Right. They were smarter than us because we got out-coached.
Well, and then and some of that is the preparation during the week. Yeah. Okay, that's how you get smarter to play on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Is how well you're prepared during the week and looking at stuff. That's why Sean Lee was so great at what he did. He spent countless hours. He wasn't playing any video games during the week.
And the difference between the teams that he was on versus these teams is more film work. They seem to be more cohesive as far as doing what Sean Lee always did. But Sean Lee was usually in the room by himself.
You know what?
Yeah. He was there by himself.
Wow.
Now you have a room full of guys, and they're trying to learn. They have that
Remember
culture.
what was it, HBO or whatever, the documentary on the Cowboys, and it was the end of the season.
Yeah.
And Sean Lee is still in the film room. The season's over, Sean.
And
Go
was
home.
he in there with anyone?
Right. No, by himself.
Go home.
Himself.
Yeah.
He's probably still doing it.
He's there right now watching film.
Right.
Yeah.
He's sending notes in.
They're
texting. Here's what
they're working on doing a documentary on Dat Win, and the story I told him, we're in training camp, and this is when he was working on the radio station in San Antonio, and they would come to training camp, and I'm standing next to him at practice, and they're in team, and he's looking at the offense, how they're lined up, and he goes, okay, here's what they're going to do, and this is what the defense needs to do. And I'll be darned, he was right every time. And he wasn't playing. He wasn't studying film. All he did was look at the alignment and where guys were, and he absolutely diagnosed what was happening, what the defense should be doing. He was amazing. And he was another guy.
If he had time, besides making a little money, I guess he's doing pretty well with franchises or whatever. It'd be nice for him to come back and coach.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
He's got 2 franchises now.
Yeah, he looks like a businessman now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a pretty good story because they do a training, right? And then you got to pass a test. And I think the first 2 times he didn't get chosen. I think it was the 3rd time they finally said, okay, you got it. You can do it, right? Yeah, he was pretty sharp. And I guarantee you he was one of those guys that watched a lot of tape.
Right.
Van Der Esch is sort of like that, too. Mm-hmm. That's why Damone Clark was talking about, he basically had to go through with his neck surgery that Van Der Esch did. Mm-hmm. So he said Van Der Esch used to come and join him during his rehab. He goes, this guy didn't know me. I'm a rookie, right? I didn't even play in the league, and he's trying to help me out because he knows what I'm going through, right?
And you know where he learned it.
Yeah.
Van Der Esch learned it from Sean Lee, being around him.
And And so Damone's also said that, their lockers are separated by an empty locker. And someone asked him that just kind of happened. He goes, oh, no, I asked to be next to Van Der Esch. It's like, okay.
And when you look at this defensive squad now, they seem to be pretty cohesive.
Yeah.
They just need to start playing together better, but they seem to study well together. They hang out a little bit together. They're not as isolated as the teams where you saw with Sean Lee. When we just talk about Sean Lee's in there by himself, and you've got guys playing video games or something, not even football video games. They're playing like NBA 2K or some crap. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the culture is different now with a guy like Parsons. He's going to take that whole role over. He can be right beside Van Der Esch studying films and things of that nature.
It reminds me, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but there was a linebacker here that when Sean Lee was here, and it was football season, and he'd be tweeting about the video game that he's playing.
That's
on Wednesday night.
That's what I recall. That's right. What I was speaking of, because you brought that up before. Yeah.
And let me go see who that was.
I didn't say anything.
Remind me who played with him.
All right, we've got our picks to click and who's going to win on Monday night when we come back here on Mick Shots.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Check out the latest and greatest addition to tours at AT&T Stadium and at the Star in Frisco. Meet Jerry Jones, an interactive experience. Get a peek behind the curtain and into the fascinating life of Jerry Jones with a focus on innovative fan experience in partnership with AT&T. This interactive technology gives tour goers the opportunity to ask Mr. Jones a variety of questions. For more information and to book your tour, visit dallascowboys.com/tours. And I'm sure they could ask Jerry when his birthday is, and he would say today,
sure.
October 13th, Friday the 13th.
That's exactly right. Can you remind people what that text line is?
I can.
Since you have the number
right there.
The text line is 817-290-3298.
Y'all watch Thursday Night Football last night?
I didn't. I had a function to go to.
I saw a bit of it.
I was at
Boy,
the
what
Stars
a
game.
big game that was.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Stars win, overtime shootout.
It was great.
2-1 over St. Louis.
Sold out building, over 18,000 people there.
Nice.
The energy was just electric. It was great.
It was over the Blues, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you remember last year, their big problem was when the games went into overtime. or matches, whatever you call them in hockey. Overtime, they were better in the shootout than they were in the overtime.
Hockey. What is it then? Game?
Game.
Yeah,
Okay.
Game?
Just
All
game.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. And they play periods, Mickey.
Periods, not quarters.
No, that I knew.
I've heard that mistake a whole
You know how many they are,
lot.
right? You know how many they are, right? You know how
Yeah.
many periods there are.
How many?
How many?
How many periods, yeah.
How many? Is there overtime?
Well, no overtime.
Three. That would be three.
I grew up
Overtime
on
and a
hockey.
shootout.
Don't mess with me.
All right there.
I can tell you all about Bobby Hall and Glenn Hall and Eric Nestorenko, Pierre Palat. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, that sounds impressive.
love it.
Sounds very impressive.
And Kansas City beat Denver in the NFL game last night.
Was it any good? It was
Shocker.
like 19 to what?
19-8 was the final score.
How'd they get to 8? 2-point conversion?
Yeah, 2-point conversion.
Trying to catch up.
Mm-hmm. They were down 16-0, and then, boy, that Denver
KC
team.
was very uneventful.
My buddy Sean not doing too well up there.
Nope. Russell Wilson's not doing too well
Yeah.
either. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
Sierra better start getting back on the tour.
I mean,
Well, I wonder if she was there.
Well, I got to say,
I
from
would
what I
assume
saw in that
so.
game, it's not as much Russell as their offensive line is horrible.
Really?
That's what they supposedly fixed.
They were horrible. That's all I could see. They can't run the ball. They can't protect. I mean,
By the way, that's an issue that Kansas City's going to have too. Those tackles with Kansas City has, Orlando Brown went to Cincinnati, and they've got Donovan Smith on the left side and Jawan Taylor on the right from Jacksonville, and that's why they can't throw the ball downfield.
He threw an interception because one guy's on his leg and the other guy's got him up top, and he tries to throw one away.
And the Houston West Virginia game, college football.
Oh, that was last
Hail
night.
Mary. Hail Mary
at
wins
the
game
end?
for Houston. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, Houston's hanging in there.
And West Virginia was playing well, weren't they?
They were. Yeah. Yep.
That's a big win
Got
for
beat
Houston.
on a Hail Mary.
Houston.
Because they started off kind of shaky.
Anything else that you need to empty out of your legal pad there? This is your last opportunity before Cowboys Chargers. By the way, the Chargers defense, they didn't have Joey Bosa in their last game 2 weeks ago, and they didn't have Derwin James. James was a full participant yesterday in practice.
Bosa was DNP'd with a toe.
Yes, right. And they have Khalil Mack at the other side, had six sacks in his game,
he
in the
was
last game
resting.
against the Raiders.
Yeah.
He's going to be scary on Monday night.
That brought up the Cowboys 2017 game with Atlanta.
Adrian Claiborne.
Adrian Claiborne made a career because he turned that one performance into a big payday because he was a free agent the next year.
Didn't we do that for someone, the Cowboys?
That's what he's
what I'm talking
about.
about.
Oh, that was it? Yeah.
That was
Okay.
Chaz Green.
Chaz
tackle.
Green
Yeah.
and
Yep.
God, that was crazy.
Claiborne.
Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl off of just us.
So anything else on your legal pad you need to tell
No,
us
because I
about?
already said the thing but what Troy said about that game.
Well, I don't remember.
When they
it.
finished with 11 sacks.
Yeah.
And he remembered when he got sacked 11 times by Philadelphia. And Troy said in the broadcast, he goes, man, I don't remember it looking that bad.
It did, Troy. It did.
Yeah, I think that 20-some years later, it probably, he forgot, right? It was bad. And
Okay.
he had all 11 sacks. I think Daniel Jones only had 10, and then whoever came in got one.
And what's Daniel Jones doing this week?
He's probably hurt.
He's going to be watching. Yep.
Oh,
He's already been ruled out.
Oh, he has
Yes,
already.
He's been ruled out. Tyrod Taylor is starting for the Giants against the Buffalo Bills, who are extra motivated because they went over the pond and lost across the pond to Jacksonville last week. So,
And it's
this
an
is
in-state rivalry.
Deshaun Watson has been ruled out too for Cleveland, and
That's the Niners are playing.
the
Cleveland.
Niners are playing Cleveland. P.J. Walker, who just signed with them a couple of weeks ago, is the starting quarterback because Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is their draft pick, who did not fare well in his first outing, they decided not to throw him to the 49er Wolves. So
That guy keeps going places where quarterbacks get hurt. P.J. Walker, he was a USFL or XFL guy because he was in Carolina, right? And he got forced to be the starter.
And I think we maybe gone to Chicago after that. And
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. He's the what was the guy's name the Cowboys had? Anthony
Wright?
No, yeah, Anthony Wright.
Wow, Anthony Wright.
Where the Cowboys sacrificed him the final game of the 2020 season because Troy was hurt and Randall Cunningham faked a hamstring because he didn't want to play. His third-string quarterback had to go out there.
He didn't want to be sacked 11 times.
Yeah, he had to go out and play in the freezing cold, and nobody else on the offense wanted to play. No, it was the last game of the year.
Oh
gosh.
Bravo, Randall.
At Tennessee. Yeah.
Bravo, Randall.
He made a business decision.
Bravo, Randall.
All right. On Christmas Day, by the way.
Yeah, it was, and that was the 5-11 season.
Oh yeah, I'm not going out there.
Tennessee ended up going to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
All right.
Pick to click time. Who's going to win? We go around the horn here.
No pod pick first?
Oh, yeah. Is there a pod pick there?
There is not a pod pick this week.
It's not a pod pick.
No
Okay.
pod pick.
All right.
We can call in on Monday for somebody to throw it out there.
Okay.
No podcast on Monday.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank
podcast. It's a game day on Monday.
There's got to be somebody who put it online.
All right.
All right.
Everson, he's studying something over there.
No. I just had to erase the pod pick.
Okay.
Just
you already
man, you were
made a pod pick.
The
I didn't even
title
know.
itself, only the title. I had to
okay.
erase.
I was going to say, you made a
my
pod
stuff
pick
is
and you didn't know what
I
the
have it
question
written
was.
down. I
My
can't
stuff
erase
is
it.
organized.
Mine's in pen.
See, I'm anal like that. So, anyway, I have the Chargers getting their offense on. I see them scoring 4 touchdowns, so they'll score 24 points. But I see our buddy Aubrey is going to have a big game.
Brandon Aubrey.
That's right. I see us winning 33-28, and he's my guy.
Brandon Aubrey's
What
your
was the
guy.
score?
33-28.
He's going to kick 11 field goals.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. The Cowboys.
How you get to 33?
Cowboys
there's lots of ways to get to 33.
So many ways. Do I have to go over all of them?
That's a
Oh my God.
and 33 is always
The only
a
way
good
I
number.
can figure out if he's going to be the star, the only way I can figure out we're going to get to 33 is 11 field goals.
I hope they score 33 points. I hope Aubrey ends up doing just what I said, and then you can shut the hell up.
All right, so
That's a
Aubrey's your pick to
contrarian.
click.
Oh,
right?
yeah, he is.
Aubrey is your pick to click.
He's my pick to click.
And 33-28.
33-28.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Savannah, you're next.
Well, I just want to note that the Cowboys did not make it to the red zone. So inside of the 20-yard line, the entire San Francisco 49ers
That's
game.
a scary thought.
They were perfect in the red zone.
Precisely.
100%.
So I am anticipating Monday night we have a different direction with that. I think we will have a few red zone touchdowns. I am actually going with Tony Pollard for my click to pick.
Nice.
I'm going to have to change mine now.
And what score do you have?
Way to go, Savannah.
I have 23-14.
23-14.
Cowboys.
Yeah, there you right. Pollard. Gotcha. What do you think? He's going to go over 100?
I think so.
Yards from scrimmage. Yards from scrimmage. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, Mickey.
I
Still
am
pondering.
I am going with the Cowboys. I liked my score so much last week that I'm going to use it again this week. 26-24, Cowboys.
Didn't work last week. You're going to try it again.
Stubborn. That's me. And my pick to click will be one Dakota Prescott.
All right.
I almost chose him.
I looked at the stats, and the Chargers have the 32nd ranked pass defense. Opposing quarterbacks have completed 65% of their passes, but they have a quarterback rating of 98.5, which is pretty darn good. So they've thrown for 1,317 yards against the Chargers in 4 games. Dak's going to light it up.
All right. What are you looking for? 2, 3, 1 rushing? What are you looking at?
Oh, I got to put together what
something,
26
man.
is?
Something, at least, come on. And by the way, 24 plus 9, what is that?
33.
Shut up, Bill. Okay.
How you getting to 24?
That's an extra field
How
goal.
we get to
That's
24?
another field goal.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
so
why he's my guy.
So it's 21 plus 12.
No.
4 field goals.
Well, okay. All right. Yes, sir. There you go.
Okay.
Somehow it'll get to 26. You just watch.
Okay. You're getting to 26. You got 33. What was your score again, Savannah?
23-14 Cowboys.
Okay. I'm going back in time. The first time that the Dallas Cowboys
Are you going to harken back
faced the
again?
Chargers in San Diego, California. Yes, Savannah's hometown was long before Savannah came into being. It was in 1972. And Walt Garrison,
All right.
the great Walt Garrison, scored on a 9-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, giving the Cowboys a 17-0 lead. Mike Ditka caught a touchdown pass from Craig Morton to make it 24-0.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Morton then scored on a 7-yard touchdown run to give the Cowboys
Craig
a
Morton?
31-0 lead on the Chargers.
He ran a touchdown. Wow.
But then, here came the Chargers back. John Hadel to former Arkansas
John
Razorback
Hadel.
Chuck
Love that
Dicus. John Hadel to Gary Garrison. John Hadel to Chuck Dicus again. Tony Fritsch for the Cowboys made it a 34-21 Cowboys lead. And Dave Williams, a touchdown pass from John Hadel, made it 34-28 the final. There's your final score. The Cowboys, just like they did in 1972, win over the Chargers. 34-28, your final score. And the star of the game, C.D. Lamb.
There you go.
Well, he can't be a star unless the quarterback is.
There you go.
Go on a reverse.
Drop the mic on that. And by the way, 1972 was Walt Garrison's only Pro Bowl season.
There you go.
He accounted for more than 1,000 yards from scrimmage.
You know what? He was also added to the 1973 or 4 Pro Bowl team. Okay.
Added
that was
to
played. He was added to it at Texas Stadium. He told me this story. He was added to it because he was local in town, and one of the running backs didn't show up, and so they needed another running back. So he was added to the team.
It sounds like
Oh, my goodness.
at the Senior Bowl.
Boy, the NFL, boy, I tell you.
At the Senior Bowl, if somebody gets hurt, they just go look at the South Alabama roster and go, "Okay, you're in the Senior Bowl."
Whoever
Because the
was
guy's living there.
There you go.
That's right. Whoever was running the Pro Bowl got a hold of Gil Brandt and said, "Got any running backs in town?"
Well,
so Walt
that's how
volunteered.
LP Ladouceur got a job, right? When the Cowboys were in between, they stayed out there and practiced at San Jose State between the 49ers and Raiders game. And the rookie deep snapper, Parcells, just had it with him. And they needed to bring somebody in, at least for a workout. And LP Ladouceur had gone to Cal, and he was still living out there. And they said, well, he could just drive in, bring him in, and we'll work him out. What, 15 years later?
He stayed, decade and a half.
Yeah.
And still lives here.
Yep. Yeah, he does.
I
That's
think
right.
out in Aledo.
I think he got some land out
Yeah.
there.
All right, that does it for another week of broadcasting or podcasting here on Mick Shots. And Mickey, you're headed out there to the
I
West
am.
Coast.
Sunday.
Savannah?
I'm headed out tomorrow.
Everyone but you.
Headed out there
Everyone but
tomorrow.
you, Bill.
You're going to Everson?
I am, sir.
Are you really? Wow.
Yeah.
You gonna come
Come
up
on,
to the
Bill. Come on.
You guys coming up to the press box to say hi?
No.
or what?
I'll come up.
no.
I'll be
You'll
on.
come
I'll be on the
No.
field at some point.
I won't.
I've got an American League Championship Series I need to pay attention
Well, is
to.
that game going to be
true.
over before the Cowboys start?
What a great day on Monday. It's a 3:30 first pitch for
That's great.
Rangers at Astros Monday afternoon, and then the Cowboys at 7:15.
Well, make sure it's
Great day
a
of
3-hour
sports.
game.
Yeah, that's right. All right, that does it for Mick Shots, and we will see you again on Tuesday at noon.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!